Nailed it.
And we're on. Hey, I'm Bob,
I'm Jake.
and we are Nailed
Nailed
It
It
the
the
Podcast.
podcast.
Once again, coming to you live via different locations. But here we are with we promised to deliver, and we're delivering. This is episode number 12 for this year, for 2025. We have done now at least one episode a month. It may not all fell exactly in each month, but we got 12 done, and that's what we set ourselves out to do, and that's what we're doing. It is now.
It's kind of crazy to think that this is now the end of our third year doing the show.
Right.
Like we're now going into our fourth year of podcasting.
Yeah. Just us talking about whatever we feel like talking about.
Yeah.
We still have yet to decide what this show's about, other than, hey, what'd you do this week? Hey, what's cool? I guess,
Yeah.
Hey, what's cool? That could be our tagline. Nailed It the Podcast. Hey, what's cool?
Hey, what's cool? Yeah, I like this.
But, we've done guests. We do the things. We have lofty ideals that we never fall through on, like most people. But we promised we'd get this done, and we're getting it done, and I'm good with that. Today is the 29th of December. So we're getting this in right under the wire, and we'll talk a little later maybe about what we're going to try and get into next year. And there's some things that are going to happen that I haven't even told you yet. There's going to be some changes here in the studio a little bit. The backdrop will be the same, but the location of where you and I physically record, the way it'll look will be a little different here coming probably next time we record.
Okay.
Some furniture changes and whatnot. It's going to do some things to make it a little easier, not only for us, but for when we have guests over.
Yeah.
Things of that nature. So, but that's all going to be in the soon-to-be new year of 2026, just like the old year, only crappier. Anyway, that's my prediction. So, what have you been up to? We just had Christmas, so I'm sure you got some stuff to talk about since the last time you and I were together.
Yeah. I had my gig over at the Falls. What was that? The 23rd.
23rd.
Yeah, the 23rd.
Christmas Eve. Yep.
Yeah. So, had my gig at the Falls for the 23rd. Had our crew come out. Obviously you and Jen and our friend Jason. Alex came out. And then some friends from the Hawks came out.
Yep.
So it was nice to see our crew come out. Tony came out as well. It was nice to see everybody have a good time. Just kind of do what you and I do, either together or individually. Just have a good time playing acoustic songs, or songs that don't really translate to acoustic, but we do them anyway. Played a bunch of stuff I've never played before, as I normally do at acoustic shows, especially at the Falls. The Falls has always been kind of my go-to place to do stuff I've never done before and see how it works.
It's good. It's a good spot for that. I used to say I would do that too, but it's been a while since I just randomly played something I hadn't tried before in that place. But I should, because it's really the only place I play alone.
Yeah.
And it's worth a shot. But it was a good time. It was a good time. I was there the week before that. Not such a good turnout. It was miserably cold that night. There was no pool league, so it was a light turnout, but I always have a good time either way. My voice was shot. I think I had told you, but I was mid-American Girl and had to stop singing because my voice was crapping out. And Jenica laughed behind the bar, and I had pre-warned that crowd, hey, this is going to be – I had been sick for like a week and a half at that point. Yeah. And I just knew my voice wasn't quite 100%, but I did what I could. It was all right. Of course, I sang with you the other night, and I also wasn't quite where I thought I was. It's been, I guess I was a little longer recovery than I thought, but should be good to go.
I dealt with that as well, because we did our gig at Burning Bridge, and I was losing my voice through that whole show, and by the end of it, I was gone, and I was struggling for a while to regain my voice. And Liz Dexia did a gig over at Jen Jen's, opening up for Stricken, and thank God all I do in that band is scream, because I couldn't hit a note to save my life, but I could scream. But then the Falls was kind of my first trial run back into singing after being sick. So I thought it was okay for what I do, but like I said, it was a typical Falls show, and it was a fun Falls show.
Right. Well, and I got to get myself back on the horse. I got a Breaking Ben show this week. Next to nothing's playing our first show in a long time, and our first show, as we often seem to do, is in January, so we can say we at least played one show a year. But we're playing this Friday night, January 2nd, at Capital City Music Hall in Harrisburg, which I have not even been to yet. I heard it's a pretty kick-ass venue.
Yeah, that's what
But
I've
we're
been
doing
hearing
that
too.
show with our guys in Y2 Kids are doing a Linkin Park tribute. We're of course doing our Breaking Ben, and Stricken. Even the boys will be there starting the night off doing some Disturbs. Looking forward to a good turnout and a good night. It got some pretty good buzz on it, but you never know with these things on the internet. But I think we're gonna have a good show and a good turnout. But it's been a while since I sang like a night of Breaking Benjamin,
Probably
and
since that acoustic gig that you and I did.
yeah, and I don't sing heavy anymore ever. I know I did a Fell from Zero gig recently that was also mid sickness. We did a benefit back in early December, and I struggled pretty hard through that. Now I made it through, and that was an hour, but um, I think I'll be fine. I mean, I think I know enough Breaking Benjamin uh, by heart to know where I need to sing. So
Yeah.
we'll have a good. I think it'll be going to be really. It's really good to get on stage with those guys too. Except for the drummer, nobody likes Jimmy. Um, just kidding, James. In fact, that band would be really impossible to do right without him. So there's your ego boost for the week.
Hey,
So that's coming up.
I can't give him too much grief. He actually gave me a compliment the other day, so I can't give him too much grief.
I think he's getting soft in his old age because he gave me a compliment too at our last show. I'm like, "You feeling all right, man?
Yeah.
Something you need to tell us? Your health okay? You've never been this nice before." Maybe it was the holidays getting to him. Who knows? I'll take it. I've known Jimmy 20 years. I don't get too many compliments without some kind of snide remark behind it. So the genuine compliments are nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and we've got a couple weeks off till we have anything Ghostlight related. So um,
You and
you
I
and
have
I,
a duo gig. Yep.
yeah, we have a duo gig at the Westgate Unlimited out in West York on the 8th, Thursday the 8th, little Thursday 7 to 10. That's our first time there. Now I played the Westgate under the previous owners for years in my other bands, but I have not played there in a long, long time. In fact, the last time I played there was a See You Next Friday gig. So previous to even changing it over to Nailed It, and yeah, it's been a long time, so years. So that'll be fun. It's nice to do.
Is that where we went before we went to the movies?
Yes, to get a drink or whatever, get food.
Yeah, we went to see Fantastic Four afterwards.
Yeah. Yep, that's the exact place. There's a little stage over in
Okay.
the corner.
Yep.
Yeah, there was that girl playing that night.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And yeah, you're right. I totally forgot we were all in there at the same time. So because you're not a Yorkian, so you don't
Yeah.
know all the spots. But so we got that coming up, and then of course our next Ghostlight gig is the Casino, January 16th. Back to 8 to 12, folks. So that's a good thing. And I'm sure we'll get together before then, or we'll talk more about that. But we got a little time off to do some New Year's type stuff. What do you got going on for New Year's?
I'm genuinely not sure what we're doing. There's talk of being down here, talk of being up there, talk of being down at the bay. There's I don't even know. I just kind of wait until someone says, "Hey, you're showing up here," and then I just kind of show up.
That's fair.
I I got
Um,
to work New Year's Eve, so I just show up whenever I get off work. So,
as do I, sir. As do I. Yeah, I don't know. We haven't really decided exactly what we're doing. I think we're staying local. A couple things we might pop in and out of.
yeah.
Our friends in Crack are playing up at
Oh
Club
yeah, they're at
XL.
XL. Yeah, I
Yeah, in
saw
fact, I
that.
noticed today I didn't really even put the pieces together when I saw the flyer. They're promoting it as free crack because it's a free show. So if you're into Creed and Nickelback, and those guys are pretty good at it. I played a show with them last year, or this year, I guess, earlier in the year. That'd be a good time, and that's free, which you don't get much for entertainment on New Year's Eve, and that is a pretty cool venue. So maybe we'll end up there. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but it's all up in the air. I don't know. I'll be at work till who knows when. I know how busy we get in my business. So,
Yeah.
but that's about it going into it. So we had a pretty good year at this thing. I think for us having to summer kind of put a damper on us getting things on schedule. So we had to double up some episodes, do some things. But I overall, I mean, looking back on our year, I think we've gotten pretty good at doing what we do.
Agreed.
Um, we may not be the most polished or professional podcast you'll ever listen to or see, but I think we made some strides. Obviously, every episode was video this year. Um, just doing different things to make it better. So I guess if anything, we learned.
Yeah.
uh, You know, we're not phoning it in, but we
I
could
I've
if we
said
want
I've
to.
said this a couple times about the show. I was like, we may, like you just said, we may not be the most polished, we may not be the most professional, but I will always say I feel we are one of the more real podcasts because we're just two dudes that have been friends for what, going on 5 years now, and all we do is just shoot the shit, and then we that's it. It's just what we do when we're together.
Yep, two friends who happen to be musicians in the same groupings and like the same stuff, and just feel like talking about it. That's all
Yeah,
we do, and I think that yeah, I agree. That's a right way to put it. We are very real. There's no agenda on this podcast. There never
yeah.
was. There's not some set like rule of things we have to do, and I like it that way. I like that we can do what we want when we want. If those that are listening, we appreciate it. Those that don't, maybe it's not your cup of tea, or maybe you just haven't given it a try yet. I don't know. We'll see
Yeah.
what happens in the coming year for season 4,
Yeah.
which is crazy to say,
I
but
know, right? That's why I was talking about it in the beginning. I was like, it's so weird that it feels like we just started doing this, but now we're going into 4 years later and we're still just talking.
yep, and that's okay. That's quite
Yeah.
all right, and I'm sure we've repeated ourselves. If we ever had the time to start from episode 1 all the way up to now, I bet we were like, wow, we told that story 8 times. Cool, but that's just how things work. So,
Oh yeah.
so I wanted to we discussed this, and here I say we don't have agendas, but here we have an agenda tonight. I wanted to head do like a lot of shows would do, and I want to do maybe a little top 5 of things that went on this year.
Yeah.
Um, and we've done top 5 lists, but we made whole episodes about our top 5, albums, all this. I just thought you and I could just grab 5 things from different, medias that we like this year. Maybe give an honorable mention too if you got them, and what our number one of this, that, and the other things are. So, and we could do them in any order, but I got them written down a certain way, so that's probably how I want to read them out.
Yeah.
Um,
I have them all in a note on my phone.
Me too. I'll be looking down several times as professionals do as well
I'm gonna
nowadays.
keep mine off to this. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be professional and I'm gonna sit it
And put
right
your
by
hand
the
right in front of the camera.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
very
put it right
professional.
by the camera so it looks like I'm looking at the camera, but I'm not.
So I'll run down the list as the order how it's going to come out. So we're going to do our favorite album of 2025. This is all top. This is top five things of 2025. One from each category is where the 5 comes from. So we're going to do an album, song, a movie, a TV show, which I know you don't do a lot of TV showing, but I know you've seen some stuff, and like a live show, whether it was one of ours or a concert we went to, which I have a point about. I'll get to when we get there on my end. A stat, perhaps, if we'll call it for me, that you'll not believe.
Okay.
And but yeah, so well, I'll tell you what. Let's go with album. Why don't you go ahead and start?
Okay. Did you put yours in a specific order or did you just list them?
I as far as like, what do you mean? As far as
Like as number 5 being your least favorite to number 1, or like to number 1 being your most favorite.
no, no, no. I just did this as so I don't have 5 for each category. I
I
have
took the
one
time
for
and
each.
wrote 5 for each category.
No, I did one for each category, and then I have an honorable mention or 1 or 2. So,
Oh, okay. Well,
you
that makes things a lot easier for me.
yeah, right, right. I mean, I could have gone all in, but it would have. It's not like I said. We could devote whole episodes to one category. I figure we can break this down pretty easy. So,
Yeah.
so I basically, yeah, like I said, I thought we'd start with album. I picked an album of the year, and I have one behind it. I thought was a close runner up. But why don't you start it off?
Okay, so same thing. I like if I had to pick a number 1 album for 2025, it's to me it's Big Ol' Album Volume 1 from A Day to Remember.
Well, that's a solid choice. I mean, what? I mean, why would what particularly is why you think that? Like you got
Well, the track listings as is: Feedback, Miracle, All My Friends, Make It Make Sense. Like all of these songs are like they're the classic style of A Day to Remember. They are so good, and like you and I've talked many a times, Jeremy McKinnon can write a hook.
I
He
think
can write a melody to a hook
he
like
might be one of the
nobody
most
else.
gifted writers in that genre, if any genre right now, active
Yeah,
right now. I think.
that it's just to me, it's an overall great album from start to finish. Like to me, there is no filler or anything that like was like this is not like this didn't need to be on the album.
Right. That's fair. That's a again solid choice for an album because that's also my album of the year.
Is
Uh,
it?
not only did I actually stream that more than anything else this summer or this year, I actually went and checked to make sure it is that album was I spun that more than anything. And for all the same reasons you're saying, I agree. And I think there's not a bad song on that album.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I could put an album in and just say go.
Yeah.
There one comes every couple years. It's usually Beartooth, as you and I both know. But I don't have any reason to skip any song on that entire album, and I could listen to it on repeat over, which I did most of the summer. That's all I listened to. Um, Now, I do think that I was reminded when looking up that it's exactly called Big Old Album Volume One. Where's Volume Two, guys? Because this album took like 8 years or whatever. It was a long time till this album came out in its entirety. So I'm
From what
actually,
I've heard, Volume 2 is supposed to come out next year.
well, I'm looking for if it's anywhere, if it's 99% of what this album was, is good. So we'll see.
Yeah.
What'd you have for any a runner up or two? Did you have any of those? I'm sure you
So
did.
I had a couple albums listed because, like I said, I wrote five
You
for
wrote a
each
top
album.
five, yeah.
Yeah, I had a couple in here. I put, Cinemetal by Galactic Empire, the new one that just came out.
Solid choice. We spent a little time listening to some of those tracks on
Oh,
a road
yeah.
trip.
Um, Me being a huge Wednesday 13 fan, he had a new album come out this year called Mid Death Crisis, and I loved that album because to me, as a Wednesday fan, it sounded like he was going back to his roots. So to me, it was a great album. Alice Cooper had a new album come out, which was great. As a joke, I put in as a joke, but kind of like half serious. I put in Taylor Momsen's Pretty Reckless Christmas album.
You don't have to be a joke. We anyone who knows you and knows our podcast knows how much you love Christmas. So I don't. That doesn't surprise me.
But yeah, as my honorable mention was the Galactic Empire album.
Fantastic. Well, mine was, and this will shock no one here, was I Was Alive, the live Beartooth album. I was actually surprised I didn't listen to that more than Big Old Album.
Yeah,
Because I was nonstop over and over. That is the best live recording of one of my favorite bands I think I'll ever get. There's a lot of good live albums over the years, and there's a lot of bad live albums. There's bootlegs, but that is so well done, and it sounds so good. And for right now, that is the best representation of what Beartooth sounds like live. You could give that to somebody and say, "This is what this band sounds like." It's a shame you can't see it, but you
yeah,
can. You can watch that concert too,
yep,
the same recording. So, but I felt like for an actual album, and it wasn't a live. That's a live concert. Not that it's a long album because it's a lot of stuff, but it's from their entire catalog really.
yeah,
But for me, for a full album, start to finish, in a classic sense, A Day to Remember definitely took it for me this year. So I'm
yeah,
definitely, uh, I'm definitely feeling that was a solid choice.
yeah,
So, and I didn't really, I mean, I Sentimental also would have made my honorable mentions had I gone stacked them deep. There wasn't a ton of great albums for me for the stuff I listened to this year. Not
yeah,
really, but it definitely, I got enough of what I was looking for out of a couple albums, so I'm good with that. So, I mean, not that it was this year. I spent a lot of time, not just an album, but as an artist. I was streaming the hell out of Sleep Theory again this year. Just I am always up to hear those guys. So stuff like that, but that wasn't really an album, so it didn't really make the cut.
yeah,
Um, so moving on, using the album as the next thing, let's go to song.
yes.
So what do you have for runners on a
Um,
song of the year?
I have a couple on here, um, which I feel like you and I might have the same one.
This is going to happen a lot, but it's fine.
For my number one, oh, actually, I'll lead up what I list, and then I'll put my number one at the end.
Works.
Um, I started out with Antidote by Sludge Mother. Um, this is a
Yeah, we're
band
not going to
I
have both have them on the same list.
yeah
Yeah.
no, but Sludge Mother's a band I just recently discovered on TikTok, and they're this like new generation of grunge, and they're pretty sick. I'll send you some of their stuff, but yeah, Antidote is one of their newer ones, which is what they were promoting on TikTok. And I saved the video, looked it up, and it's actually a sick song. Um, I did, you know, Children of the Grave. It was a cover, a Black Sabbath cover by Lamb of God. Um, a Wednesday 13 song called No Apologies. And then my number one was All of My Friends by A Day to Remember.
Well, would you be surprised to know that it is in fact also my number one song?
Knew it was gonna be when I
Well,
wrote it too. I was like, this is gonna be on Bob's list too.
I mean, it's by far the best thing that came out all year, as far as I'm concerned. And it's just I mean, not to use buzzwords, but it's a banger, dude. It was the summer song, and I'm so sorry that it didn't hit the public consciousness like it should have. I think the
Yeah,
rock world knows that's a great song, but man, what a just a jam. I definitely could listen to that song over and over, and like that could be make someone sick of hearing it as much as I would listen to it. And those first couple of days through, I was like, nope, repeat, repeat, repeat. This song is amazing. I did have as my runner up my one runner up, I think, that got close to being the song for me, and it's really recent, but the Tom Morello song featuring
that's my
Beartooth,
honorable
Everything
mention
Burns.
too.
Man, because it's not a Beartooth song, but it features our boy Caleb. It's just, it just first of all, it just reminds me how good Tom Morello actually is. When people say there's a lot of people that talk shit on Tom Morello. One, he's
Yeah,
an amazing guitar player. I don't care what anybody says, even with all his tricks and his little ways he makes things work. But that doesn't sound like a Rage Against the Machine song. It doesn't sound like an Audio Slave song. It sounds like something that man has. When he writes things, he progresses with the time. It sounds like a modern song. It doesn't sound like a Tooth song, but it sounds like a good kind of. I don't want to say new metal. It's not metalcore. I guess it's just a good heavy rock song, and
yeah.
it's easy to sing along to. And I can see why it was written for a video game soundtrack. It amps you up. It's got energy. It's just such a cool song. And for those of you who are late to the party here and haven't listened, that song's only maybe a month old, if that.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't even think it's a month old. I think it might be
for
like 2 weeks, if that.
for the fact that it came out so late in the year, I made it so high on my list of songs for me. It just goes to show what I like they spoke to what I like there.
Yeah,
Still not the jam that all my friends is, but it's
it's
pretty
up
kick
there.
ass. So yeah, absolutely. So what about movies, sir? We actually saw a couple together.
Yeah,
We've both obviously seen other things. That's the fun thing with movies now. You don't actually have to say you went to the theater. There's
yeah.
800 different new movies out on Netflix and all the other things that you can watch that are pretty good too. So, what do you got?
So I've my five that I listed here. Uh, I'll read them from top to bottom and leave my first for last. But I put in Captain America: Brave New World,
Solid.
uh, Thunderbolts,
Oh,
which is the one of the only movies I've ever seen in a drive-in theater. I saw that in a drive-in theater up in Shippensburg. Um, Happy Gilmore 2 was in there.
well,
Uh,
we both agree that we love that movie. Some people
yeah.
felt some kind of way about it, but yeah, it makes it on a mentions list for sure.
Uh, and then for my number one was Superman.
Yeah, well, we did an entire episode on Superman and Fantastic Four, so I'm not surprised that you say that. But I mean, give the Cliff Notes version of why you thought that was your jam for the year.
It's literally the quintessential comic book movie. It is Superman to a T.
Yep,
The man says gosh. Like
yep, yeah. No,
it's just
they
such a good movie, like in all like in all, seriousness. It is just such a good comic book movie for the comic book lovers like us.
right, and I agree. I agree. I don't think we made that point in our episode. I think it's done exactly how it should have been. It was bright and hopeful and all the stuff that Zack Snyder didn't seem to understand,
Yeah.
um, and that his fans won't let go. But I don't want to go. Don't come at me, internet. It is what it is. But I agree with you. That is, in fact, one of the better movies of the year. It is, however, not my number one for the year. I did
Interesting.
have a couple. No, I did have a couple here. I did go outside of my own rules here, and I did make a couple movie selections. Um, but number one, Superman would have made that for me.
Yeah.
100% made it in there. Um, Now, I do think that Fantastic Four was a great movie. Uh, Probably would make my top five, but I didn't do a top five, so it's worth saying something, quote, mentioning, but it would have been lower on the list than Superman. Great movie
Okay.
for what it was, but it was no Superman. My number one honorable mention, and this was tight for me to decide if this wasn't my favorite movie of this entire year, was Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Um,
That makes sense. Yep.
I'm literally leaving Captain America off this list, and I'll
That's
get
saying
thrown out of the
something.
club because I don't care what the critic says. I love Brave New World. I loved it.
Yeah,
Um,
I loved it too.
but it wasn't as good as Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts was better than Fantastic Four. I think Thunderbolts is better than Superman. Um, Maybe because it hits me different. I'm a Marvel guy. I've always been a Superman guy. If it's DC, I'm Superman first. And there's a lot of Batman people. You're a Batman guy, but Superman is my jam. I guess I like the Boy Scouts because obviously I'm a
That's
Captain
fair.
America guy too. Um, and Thunderbolts was, as well pointed out to anybody who hasn't seen it, it is a movie about mental health and like dealing with trauma wrapped in a superhero movie. It's really well acted, well done, and it's definitely, if you have not taken the chance or you're like, I don't do those comic book movies, I don't do those Marvel movies, watch it. If you just give it a chance, give the performances a chance, and the comic booky stuff that's in it isn't nearly as overblown as some of the other movies they do, and I
Yeah.
thought it was great. But was not my number one movie of the year, and I think I've talked about this a couple times. My number one movie of the year blew me away because I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, and it was in fact K-pop Demon Hunters. I I I can't stop talking about that movie. I can't stop listening to the songs. I Not just that it was an animated movie because I do like a lot of animation stuff. You know, I'm still a kid at heart when it comes to that. But that movie was so well done, so well directed, so well animated, so well acted. I dove deep into the fact that the songs in the movie are beautifully written, catchy. The voice actors for the characters are different than the voice actors for the singing. The songs are
Yeah.
sang by a different group of women and men than the actors, but it's a seamless integration. It's the biggest movie. I think it was probably the biggest movie of the year that wasn't in a theater, and they put it in a theater and made a bunch of money for like one weekend because
Yeah.
Netflix doesn't need to do that; they just chose to. It's a cultural phenomenon that just came out of nowhere because nobody expected this thing. Nobody knew what it was. Sony passed on it, and Netflix is like, we'll produce that. Sony likes to kick themselves in the ass, but I don't care how old you are. If you're a music fan, a comic book fan, animation fan, any of that, it is worth watching, and I can't recommend that movie enough. Definitely the number one movie I saw all year, and if you haven't seen it, shame on you, sir. Shame on you.
I have not given it a shot. And for no other reason than just never like thought I'm gonna put K-pop Demon Hunter on.
As I said in previous episode, it was a situation where I had a night one night where I was just kind of headed to bed. The wife was watching one of her 37 shows she binges, and I'm like, I'm gonna turn something on Netflix and go to sleep. You know, I'm gonna go to bed a while. And it came up when you're scrolling through the menus,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and this was months after it came out. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a shot. What's the worst happening? I fall asleep. It's not a big deal. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. Like I did not. There was no going to sleep. It was from the first scene. It catches you. The songs are incredibly entertaining and um, just they fit the movie so well. You can tell they were written around the script, obviously, but it's like what if Disney movies were kind of half-ass computer anime? That's kind of
Yeah.
how it feels. Like it's made for kids, but it's not made for kids. It's got some adult themes to it, and it's just again highly recommend it. That's why it made my number one. I think my movie's out a lot. I like a good popcorn flick. Don't get me wrong. I like to be
That's fair.
entertained, but I also sit and think about stuff after I've seen it. If I like it, I overthink it. If I hate it,
Yeah.
I also overthink it. And this movie just right up till this recording, I still can't stop thinking about how good that movie was. So that definitely made my number one of the year. Which leaves us a little bit because it was Netflix, which by definition is on television, leads us into our TV. Now I know you're not as big a TV watcher as I am, but I'm sure there's some
Yeah.
TV shows this year you've seen.
Yeah.
There's probably
Th-
something.
this one was a little tough for me because I don't watch a whole lot of TV. One, because I'm always busy, but two, like I always will admit I have a horrible attention span, especially when it comes to TV shows. Um, but I wrote three because I couldn't even think of
And
five
that's all I
to
have to
write.
myself.
Um, my first one that I wrote was Monday Night Raw because that's all I could think of that I watch on a weekly basis.
I technically, I guess that qualifies. It
But for like my number one, this was really the only series that I've watched from start to finish that came out this year. It was called Murdaugh: Death in the Family.
My wife
Um,
was watching that. I saw an episode or two of that.
it is so good, and like I've seen documentaries and stuff about this whole scenario with the Murdaugh family and all that, but the way this one is depicted, and they used actual footage to like base the makeup that they put on the actors and stuff to portray them in such an accurate way. Because there's two of them on Disney Plus or Hulu. Um, there's the Murdaugh Death in the Family, and then there's another Murdaugh movie. Uh, and it's like night and day. It's the same story, but they're both one's depicted way more dramatically than the other. The where the other one is depicted a lot more accurately to footage and security cameras that are from the actual occurrences. So like I really gravitated towards that one because it was neat to see it depicted in this way.
That's fair. Accuracy helps, especially if you're doing a dramatization of something. You still gotta, quote as they say, put asses in the seats and make people watch it. But you also there's a, I guess there's a, you got to be able to tell a story too. So I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't watch the whole thing. I saw an episode and a half or so, and it was interesting. It just I came into it late. I didn't
yeah.
start with the first episode, so I didn't finish it, but I generally enjoyed it. So I can see how that works.
And then I put as my honorable mention diners, drive-ins, and dives because I couldn't think of anything else.
I mean, this holiday season, I watched so many cooking shows about cookies and baking, and beat Bobby Flay at his holiday stuff. I don't know. Went down a rabbit hole, man. I used to watch a lot of Food Network. Jen and I used to just get really inspired to cook.
Yeah,
And we hadn't done that in years, and we just kind of did this season, starting with like all the cookie challenges. And I was like, "Hey, remember we used to watch this and that?" And we just watched. It was fun. I didn't even have that on my list. You just kind of gave me a memory berry there for it. Um, oh, member berries. Now, so for mine, I have two honorable mentions. One of which that the main honorable mention was a tight race on which I picked, but first one is Daredevil Born Again. Um,
ah,
was as a fan of the Netflix show, and again, a lot. You see, obviously, folks, there's a theme here between our superhero stuff on entertainment. Jake and I like things. Daredevil Born Again could have been a train wreck with the way Disney could have taken the stuff that we had in Netflix and just wiped it clean, try to do fresh, try to be nice, and it sounds like that's what they were trying to do initially, and then they went back to officially making it basically a continuation of that Netflix show and making it dark and violent and gritty, and it was amazing.
yeah,
It was so good, and that's the tier of Marvel shows they need to make, and not. I've never had a problem with any of the Marvel shows. There's been some that have been a little because I've watched them all. It's what I do, but none of them were like, "Man, this is the worst thing ever." Like the internet said, "Oh, it's the worst thing that was ever made." That's not true at all. But there are some that are better. Daredevil is, I mean, it's top tier for what they've done. So I can't wait for this next season next year. Um, my first runner up here could have been my number one, but there was just some things that it took me out a little bit. It didn't engage me like my number one. My runner up is this show called Alien Earth that was on
oh
FX.
yeah, that's that show you and I watched.
Yes, yeah, you sat down and watched an episode. You watched the episode, the particular episode, episode 5 that you watched with me is basically what everybody calls it's like a miniature alien movie in the middle of the season. Like
Yeah,
it almost stands alone as like this type of, and that was just what you saw. That didn't even remotely get into what the other episodes did. That show was awesome. It had a weird ending, a cliffhanger-ish ending, which I guess they've actually been renewed. I don't know, but overall, it was just a really good entry into that world. And that just made me think. I got two runners up or two mentions I should have put in my movies because of that. It made me think of the Predator movies. Predator Badlands was pretty kick ass. It wouldn't make a top 5, but it's mentionable. And there was a Netflix. The Netflix had Predator Killer of Killers, which was animated. Which
Drop my microphone.
again, Killer of
Pause.
Killers is an animated like anthology that's official, the canon, and it's made by. Did you see the movie Prey? You don't do the Predator movies, do you? Came out like 2 years ago. It was very under the radar. It was a Predator movie nobody knew about.
No.
Um, they were calling it Prey. We didn't know what it was. Turns out it was a Predator movie set with Native Americans. Awesome. Well, this guy Dan Trachtenberg is now taking over like that universe. He directed the Predator thing. Anyway, it made me think of that because of the whole connection between aliens, predators. But those two are great movies. If you're into that genre, check them out. Back to Alien Earth. Super well acted, super creepy characters. It wasn't just about the xenomorphs that we all know from the Alien movies. In fact, that was almost a side character to some of the other aliens that are in this show, and Jesus, they're disturbing.
Yeah.
It's so well done. So definitely worth watching if you're into that stuff. Pretty cool endings. The ending of every episode was some kind of grunge like metal. So there was a Tool song one time. Like, it almost takes you out. You're in this weird trippy sci-fi show, and then all of a sudden there's like, oh, 46 and 2, cool. It just didn't. But my number one show of the year, and if you've never seen it, in fact, season 2 is coming out in like 3 weeks on HBO Max or HBO, whatever the hell it is now. The Pit. I'm a fan from way back in the day of medical procedural, especially specifically ER.
Yes.
This is a very realistic look at an ER over 24 hours, which goes back to my love of the show 24. That every show is every episode's an hour of the day, but it is just the things that can happen in an actual ER set in Pittsburgh. It's from all accounts from what I've seen on like TikTok and Reddit and just the internet. Actual medical professionals that work in ERs, like this show is so realistic down to the details of like what they're talking about medically and the equipment they're using, and even like the prosthetics and stuff when someone comes in with an injury, and like everything is, and it was so gripping. There was an episode, not to give too much away, but anybody that looks into it know there's an episode where they have to deal with a shooting at a concert. And you
Okay.
don't see anything outside of the ER. It only takes place in this hospital. But the people start coming in, and they basically have to become uh, uh, like a triage hospital for like war, and it's what it looks like. That particular episode is it gave me feelings of anxiety, which I don't have. Like I was like on the edge of my seat, and I couldn't breathe, and it is so well acted, so well done, and it's very worth it. If you're into like, obviously it's not a reality show, but it's a realistic drama, and you can handle like the medical end of it. I recommend watching that show if you can. I think it's 8 episodes. They're all an hour long. It is fantastic. And just for a preface, the next season is coming. It's going to take place. The day that they're doing the next season on is July 4th.
Oh,
And I
okay.
just can't wait to see what happens in an ER in a major metro area like that on July 4th. You hear all sorts of people blowing their hands off, fireworks and dumb shit.
Yep.
Like it's definitely worth checking out. It definitely made my number one show of the year. I've seen a lot of cool stuff this year because we binge a lot of stuff in this house. I mean, like you said, like stuff like you watch every week, like Raw and things. Shout
Yeah.
out to Dateline being on every hour in my house, every hour of the day, at least once a day. Dateline's on, whether it's reruns or new ones. A lot of crime stuff around here, but yeah, that's definitely something people should check out. If you're interested in my opinion on something, that's it. Totally out of the genres that we tend to float to, but I really enjoyed it. So
I'll have to
uh,
check that one out because I've heard you talk about that for a couple of times. I'll have to
yeah,
actually sit down and watch that.
yeah, I can't recommend that enough. Take away anything from this episode, you go spend 8 hours watching The Pit, and you watch K-pop Demon Hunters. In fact, when we get offline here, you go watch K-pop. I'm going to test you on it tomorrow.
I don't know. I feel like I've got a couple other classic movies I got to catch up on before anything.
I am vetoing all those ones I told you have to watch because you haven't done it in 5 years. Why would you do it now? This one's still fresh, and I'm telling you, you'll enjoy it.
Okay.
So what we're down to, and by the way, I should honorable mention any of the songs from K-pop Demon Hunter could have been my song of the year. They are
Okay.
that catchy. Just saying. But a couple of them, specifically one, what the song's called, "What It Sounds Like," is towards the climax of the movie. That song, the way it's built into the scene, actually gave me an emotional response because of how it works, how it builds up, and it works with what's going on. It works that you spent this hour and a half getting to this with these characters. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
it's so well layered, so well done. Anyway,
Interesting.
so the only thing left would be live shows, sir. And now, like I said earlier, this is comes down to it could have been a show we played. You played alone, we played together. It could be a concert you went to. I will say this before I let you get into yours. I realized I went to one concert this year.
Really?
Yep, all the concerts I do all the time. I didn't go to any at the fair this year because we had shows.
Yep.
I was supposed to go to that one. We tried to go to that one, that big Rock America thing, and we got rained out
Yep.
that night. I didn't go to any other small shows. I went to the Rock Fest, the thing up in Hershey. I
Oh
went to
yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
I
yeah.
roadied for Alex Warner Band and got to be behind stage. But that's the only concert, which was a fantastic experience, but not my number one. Just needs to be mentioned because it's the first time I was on the inside of it, on the backstage side of it, and got to rub elbows, so to eat lunch with famous people and stuff. It was kind of neat. But yeah, I didn't. For a guy who used to go to 30 concerts a year, I didn't go to. I went to one concert this whole year.
I think I only went to. I think I went to 4 concerts and a festival this year.
Yeah. So, but please go ahead with your stuff.
So I have 5 things I wrote down. If I would have known we were doing gigs that we've played, I would have also taken that into
Well,
account.
I took that into account because all our gigs are great, but
Yeah.
some stand out. But go ahead.
So I did live shows that I've attended. Um, so I put Wednesday 13 when I saw him at Mickey's Black Box. Uh, he was doing a Murder Dolls tribute show because him and Joey Jordison started the Murder Dolls back in the mid 2000s, and they since Joey's passing and everything, he hasn't really done anything with the Murder Dolls, and he did this like anniversary of them and did a whole Murder Dolls set and everything. So that was neat to see him do that. Um, and then I have specifically seeing Alice Cooper at Boardwalk Rock in Ocean City, Maryland. Now, Alex and I, we had seen a couple really good shows at Boardwalk Rock. We saw Shinedown, Nickelback, 3 Days Grace, uh, which was like only 50% good.
We've discussed this before too. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Saw Night Ranger. Um, there was one other one that we saw Crossfade. So like we saw some cool bands that night, but Alice Cooper specifically, one, we were front row, and two, he just, for somebody who's 70 something years old, he can still outperform me or anybody that we personally know. Like he could run laps around a lot of us for being
Right.
70 something years old. But he sounded great, his band was great. Um Fantastic. Uh, Hardy at Hershey Park Stadium was phenomenal. There was not a bad part of that show. Um, and then my number one live show, and then I have an honorable mention that was a very close tie. My number one was seeing Eric Church at Xfinity Mobile Arena in Philly. Uh, yeah, I was, being that my job does all the work for Eric Church, we were able to attend to see our work in action, and we got to, we were borderline front row. Getting to see him that close was a neat experience to see him play, and he always puts on a good show. But my honorable mention, funny enough, was not a concert, but my honorable mention was the live commentary screening of Mallrats.
Yeah, that's also on my honorable mention for a live show thing that was, and we devoted a whole episode about that trip. So,
Yeah.
feel free to go back in our catalog and check it out, folks. We had a great time in Red Bank. We're going to do that again. I'm telling you. Um, by the way, side note, I was listening to their podcast today, their current episode from Christmas Eve,
Uh,
and there is a schmauction on Sunday the 3rd, and you can do it online. You don't have to be there. So I might log in. I guess you can probably go online and see what's up for auction. But one of the big
yeah.
things they're doing, the car that was in 430 movie, the
Oh,
movie mobile,
really?
whatever, they're
Yeah.
auctioning that off. You can win
Oh,
an actual
wow.
car I can't imagine how much that's going to go for. But yeah, so sidebar there of our Kevin Smith love. I got some Kevin Smith love for Christmas too, by the way.
Did you?
I'm out of the Funko game. My wife found Jay and Silent Bob from Clerks 3 and bought it
Oh,
for me.
nice.
So they went right off my shelf over here with all my Kevin Smith stuff. So that was pretty cool. Um, so yeah, I agree on that. That was an excellent show. So what's your number one?
My number one was Eric Church.
Oh, was Eric Church? Okay, okay.
Yeah,
And Mallrats, Jay and Kev, we did have a good time with that. Like I
that was a
said, that
great
was
time.
also one of my runners up as well. The fun that we had at that show was pretty damn sick. I have another runner up, which is one of my own shows. The Rock Me Don't Shake Me
Mm,
benefit we did in June. We fell from zero, and I've talked about that in the show. We've talked about it. That is an event a fundraiser event for victims of shaken baby syndrome. Justice's Sake, it's called. We go down to Hagerstown to Antietam Brewing, and Ghost Lights played there. I play there a couple times a year. I fell from zero. It's about the only place we do play, and we get a set in there usually later in the day, third or fourth last band, something like that. It's an all day occurrence, and it is packed with people. But I have never ever this past one in June, I have never felt more like a rock star in that band for a good cause. Our set was full of energy. It just started to rain and nobody cared. They were out front jamming along. The whole experience is so good and such a good place to play. The Antietam Brewing is awesome. They're good people.
that is a
Shout out to
cool
Justin.
place.
He's
I
been good
liked
to us.
playing there.
But we had such a phenomenal time, and I am always humbled by people that the compliments we get from people that never saw us before, didn't know what to expect. Um, you know, we just had a great time. We had friends there. The guys from Gun Metal Gray were there. They went on before us. We had a really good time, and it's a good cause, and we do it every year. I block off that weekend every year. We're playing next year. Um, so that was one of the better experiences for me last year. But the number one live show for me, is also one of ours, was Labor Day at Craft Haven.
Oh,
That show, and I say it every time we bring it up, and it has been for a couple years straight now, is the most fun and the best show I feel we as a band and me personally do all year. It's
agreed.
like it's like that's our New Year's Eve. We lead all the other shows from the end of September, or mid of September, until the following first weekend or so, till Labor Day weekend. That's our year build up to that show.
Yeah,
Um, the energy is always there. The Craft Haven crowd, even the people that show up that aren't campers, that are just there for the holiday. It's so fun. It is. Where else do we go play 3 plus hours straight without taking a break? And none of
yeah,
us are dead. We would
yeah.
never do that anywhere else. I guess honorable mention should be the private party played out there on the river in
Yep.
August as well. That was fantastic. But because it was a private gig, I feel kind of somewhat come on a way about that. We had a great time. They had a great time, but that's what we were supposed to be there for.
Yeah.
Not that we weren't supposed to do that every show, but Craft Haven is technically a public show. Anybody can show up if they want to. And man, do people just show up there. Something's going to have to prove me wrong in our sets, in our shows in the coming year. Something would have to very much prove me wrong that that's not the best thing we do every year.
Yeah.
And I stand by it. That's my number one for the year.
Yeah. And it's one of those that it just like everything just seems to happen the right way.
Yep.
Like everyone plays great. Everyone's on their A game. Everyone's having a good time. Everyone's got the stage presence going. And then we bust out stuff we've never played before, like we did when we played Bodies. But
Yep. Yes,
um,
sir.
and like that video, I forget who took it. The one of us doing Pink Pony Club, and that is such a fun. Like I show that video to anybody because I'll talk about the Bay all the time.
That was our
And
first time doing that song too, was it not? As the group,
was it? I don't
I
remember.
I think it was the first time we performed that song as a group.
Probably.
You
I
and
don't
I,
know.
you and I did it at the Goose
Oh,
Acoustic,
maybe that.
and
Yeah.
that's what really got it on our radar. Yeah, I mean, we were a year late to the party on it, but whatever, it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
go ahead.
but I talk about the Bay all the time, and people are like, "Well, what's it like?" And they're like, "Is it just a campground?" And I was like, "It's not just a campground. Like
Yeah,
this is Craft Haven."
yeah,
And
that's just a
uh,
campground. Ha.
and like I pull up that video to show them, like, we bring live bands in as and including us, and this is the kind of environment that this place has, especially when there's live music and everyone's into it. And I'll show them that Pink Pony Club video that you can find on my TikTok at Rocket Man on TikTok, and that's ROCKITMAN. Got to plug it, but um, yeah, it really just shows what that place is like and what it's like for bands to play there.
Right. Oh, I agree. And if you're doing it right, you're doing it the right way. Phys Ed always does a great job on Memorial Day. Whenever we get, you do it the right way, and people will show. And that's why we play so much in Northeast over the summer. Not just for
Yeah,
proximity, because you and me and Rich are there all the time anyway. It's because the places we play down there are absolutely into what we do
they're
in a
so
different way than they are
receptive
around here.
to they're so receptive to live music, and you could go anywhere in that area regardless of your genre and find a crowd that likes you.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely, I agree. And that's
Because
that's again why it made number one.
yeah, because you can go, obviously, the Craft Haven plays. You can play metal, you can play hard rock, classic rock, pop, whatever. You can play anything, but drive 20 minutes up the street to Elkton, and you're playing country, and you found your crowd over there.
Right.
There's something for every band in that area.
Which isn't necessarily the case around here as much.
Yeah.
You can find room for anything, but it's not as I don't think it's receptive. And I know this as a guy who's done it for going on many years over 20. Um, it's not the same anymore. You used to be able to do that around here. Everywhere you go, you could find a home for something. It's not quite the same, but it's nice that there is still somewhere we can go that's not that far, and I enjoy it. So,
Same.
again, that's why it made number one. So,
It,
um,
it was funny. It was just brought up to me the over the weekend, over the holiday weekend, that somebody else was talking to me about Ghostlight and was saying that they think that our best show, aside from the Bay, was also the Wellwood.
the last Wellwood show,
Yeah, the last
yeah,
Wellwood show that we
that
did.
was the best we've ever played there.
Yeah, I think, and the same thing. I think we all were we all were meshing that night. Everyone was on their A games and playability. Everyone sounded good, and the crowd was very receptive. I know we had a lot of Craft Haven people come out. I know the whole Hoy family came out, and as well as what, a good chunk of both your end and their end of the Bay came out.
Right.
Had a
Yeah. No, it was definitely
good old guest appearance from Dynamite Dave, but
uh, Dynamite Dave Heisey, always in the mix. Yeah, no, I agree. That's our thing, and we'll have lots more of that coming. Hell, we're even playing down there in March this year for a private event, so we definitely keep going back. Well, that wraps up the top five of 2025 with a bunch of honorable mentions in it. Like I said, I'm looking forward to next year. Lots going on. We've already got a pretty full band schedule. Playing pretty 4 hours. We all do. Of course,
mhm.
not to be discounted, but next year is the year I turn 50. Ugh. So in August I'm 50, so I'm sure there'll be some celebration around that, and because
Yeah,
we like to party, um, but we got a lot coming, and I've got some stuff. I've got a decent amount of shows that fell from zero this year. We'll get some acoustic stuff going. I think. Um, Hopefully, I can do more than one show with next to nothing. You and I are talking about another project that until we find a drummer is going to stay unnamed. And you and I have been talking about some original music again, and I got some stuff working on that. I got to get to you, and maybe we can I can say I did something in that. Unlike you, who does something once a month at least, I can actually say I did something. So, lots of stuff coming, man. I'm looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to what this show could be for us. It could just be more of the same, but maybe it'd be something different.
yeah.
Definitely want to push some more guests. We had a list of guests we wanted to try and get to this year, and we just didn't. I'd like to get to that. So, um, yeah, lots to go on, but I
Oh,
don't have much else. What do you got?
one thing that we didn't spotlight really quick was your newly redesigned guitar.
But yeah, I can get it and get it in scene here. It's out of frame, but I'll go grab it while you talk about it.
So okay, so to preface, Bob and I had talked about the art style of cell shading, which for those who don't know is you take I did it on a pair of sneakers. You take a pair of Chucks, make them look like it's from a comic book, outline it with some black lining, and it looks cool. I had done a pair of white Chucks, and I sent it to him, and I said, "Hey, what do you think of this?" He's like, "Do you want to try it on a guitar?" And he hands me this Squire Bullet Strat, and I said, "You know what? Yeah, let's try it." I said, "Grab the white paint pens, and I'll get started." And what was it? 2 days? Uh, uh, yeah, he
Very, very fast.
gave it to me on Saturday, and I gave it to you at the Falls on Tuesday. So
Yep. So it was like a Christmas present I knew I was getting. But
yeah,
so the premise, I've had this guitar for 20 odd years, I think. It's just a fun, and it's $100 Squire at the time. It's just, I'm not a Strat guy. I just always had it, and it plays pretty well for what it is. So I was like, if I'm going to do this with any of them, it's this one. So you said, yeah, I'm down. So here we are with it. I'm going to try and get it best in frame as I can. I mean, that thing just came out beautifully, beautifully.
that
Flip
did get
around.
super cool.
It's hard to see. I'm going to try and get the headstock in frame here without too much of a glare. Might not be easy.
There you
You can
go.
kind of see it. I mean, this thing just came out awesome. Now I still got to string it. And the only reason I haven't is I plan on putting a clear over this,
Yeah,
so it doesn't come off, and I can actually take it out and play it. So I just got to get some clear, tape it off, and spray it. Give it a couple coats, and then I'm probably going to show up to a gig with it at least once, just because.
yeah.
Um, Seems weird to bring this instead of my two custom built guitars, but you know, shout out to Twin Dicks as always. But yeah, this came out amazing, man. I really appreciate you doing this because I got an artistic hand, but I've never tried this, and I get real angry if I mess something up. And this would have been easy to mess up, even though you may not be able to notice because the style, I would have known it. So I was like that. But I got to point out, there's a long running joke between my friends and me about every show I play is my birthday. It's always happy birthday, Bob. It's a disgusting joke, and I'm tired of it. No, I don't know if I can get it in close enough or it'll come in frame, but right here, right here, he put HB H wait
HBDB.
HBDB. Thank you. I had to think about how to look at it. He put Happy Birthday Bob on this thing, and just a fun little thing that no one would have noticed. You know, it's an Easter egg for those of us that know what it is, and no one will ever see that. It's on the back of the guitar, but I know it's there, and I appreciated it.
Did you ever
So
notice too that your initials are in it as well
I did not.
on the back? On the back towards the input jack, I did a scratch style version that says BP
On the back or on the front?
on the back.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm looking at. I couldn't see it was upside down. No, I just noticed that now because you said something, dude. That's awesome. See, I'm gonna find new things with this every time. That's pretty dope. So I
Yeah,
appreciate that, man. That was
I
cool.
was sitting there doing this, and I was like, I want to throw some like little Easter eggs in there that are like either inside jokes that only a handful of us will know, or just little jokes between the two of us. But yeah, the little BP and the HBDB on there, I was like, those are good additions.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. It came out fantastic. So if anybody's looking to have something like that done, Jake's available.
Yeah, uh, I did post the photos on my Facebook. We'll put them on the Nailed It page, and then I'll also shoot them over to the one page that I don't run is my Rocket Man art. Uh, my art page where I normally post my spray paints, but now I can do some more cell shading. I'll put the shoes that I did and the guitar as well.
Dope, pretty dope. And don't forget, you've been doing more and more ring announcing. So we've discussed that in the
Yes.
show, but you're doing a lot more ring announcing. And you today, Jake asked me to make him an action figure, which I did actually. Couldn't
He
talk about this
did.
last time, but
It's
I actually
actually
made.
it's sitting over there. My where's it at? Actually, I'll
Uh,
go get it.
Go, you do that. We'll show off our gifts.
Yeah.
So what I did was
Ignore the fact I'm in my pajamas.
that's all right, man. Nobody's supposed to show themselves from the waist down on camera. Um, so I decided to make Jake a custom figure as a surprise gift with my 3D printer, Basically made a 3D print version of his co-creator owned comic book, Mr. Melody, which we've talked about many times. And so I went to town on trying to do a little bit of a custom figure, and that's what I came up with. It's
Yeah.
certainly not ready for production, but it's a prototype.
This thing is so cool. Like, it never would I have thought that when I came up with this character that I'd have a action figure on card. Limited, wait, where is it? Limited edition, by the way.
Yeah,
Gotta
it
gotta
does
make
say
that
down the
known.
bottom corner, number one of
Yeah.
one.
Where's my camera? There it is. Number one of one.
Yeah, I did a lot of work to try and figure that out. I had a couple different versions of it, but I was really happy the way it came out for never trying something like that, and I'm glad you were happy with it too. And
Yeah,
I know
that thing is sick.
your brother's probably jealous because he didn't get one, but
Oh,
that is 100% a one off. Sorry, Mark. I don't think I can do two of those. Well, I could print another one. He's not getting the fancy card back and stuff. I do want to. Hey, while I got you on the screen here, buddy, you had asked me to see if I could make you a thing for the picture of your pop as a
yeah,
Keystone Man. I don't know
yeah.
how well you're going to be able to see this.
Oh my god.
Um, it needs a little sanding to get some rough edges off it from where the supports were. But I'm
Yeah,
going to clean up the sanding and then I'm going to get it to you, and you could paint it to your heart's content.
yeah.
I
I'll
printed it
paint
in
it.
blue because there's so much blue on the original, the
Yeah,
rendering. I figured it'd be easier to have the natural blue and paint the rest. But
yeah. Oh my god, that's so good.
it's hard to
And
see in frame, but there's actually a K on his chest. It's just really lightly
that's
printed.
si- and
Um,
so for those who don't know, that is a little figurine of my pappy who one year for a costume party, it was a superhero theme, and he couldn't think of his own superhero, or he couldn't think of a superhero to dress up as, and being that his go-to drink was always Keystone, he was Captain Keystone, and so he
it's
he like handmade this costume, and like he had an operation where he was in the hospital, and so I think it was like a triple bypass or something. And we had our artist Jason So, who drew that Mr. Melody photo for me. Where is it? There it is. And the artist of Necroman, we had him draw a comic book cover of Captain Keystone. We had it printed for him. So the Captain Keystone character was always like a thing that we did, to the point where we even reached out to Keystone and we're like, hey, we did this for our grandfather because this was his thing, and they sent us a bunch of hats and all kinds of stuff, so they were really appreciative of it. It was cool.
That's cool. Yeah, so that's that. I did work on that, and where I brought that up, we were talking about stuff, is because Jake today decided that he wants to try and have an old the LGN wrestling figures from way back in the day. He wants a version of Jack Rocket like that. So I'm gonna look into that. I did some preliminary work. It's gonna take a bit.
Yeah,
I may need that picture that you had made, that
I'll
you had
send it to you.
rendered. That might be the way to get it done. I don't know how posable it's going to be, but it might be that.
That's the thing, is the LJNs, they weren't really posable.
No,
They
they
were
were just
just
in that
thick.
stance. Yeah,
Yeah,
fixed stance. They were like thumb wrestlers, basically. And
yeah.
those things are great, except for the concept that you're sticking your thumb up a wrestler's ass. But
Yeah.
whatever. We didn't think of that when we were kids. That wasn't a joke. But yeah, just some fun things that I'd love to do. So one of these days, I'm going to make us custom nailed it guys out of our little
Yeah.
microphone logos. Um, and just have them around. But God love my 3D printer. So yeah, I think that's about it for. I think we can wrap up 2025 and our first full 12 episode season. I almost said 12 issue. Or what's my mind on? We got stuff in the pipeline for next year. I think more of the same but different.
Yeah.
That's the most cop out way of saying something. It's the same, but it's different.
But it's just a little
We're
different.
the all new, all different nailed it the
Yeah.
podcast. Real quick, have you seen any of the teasers come out for Doomsday?
Oh.
Okay,
Oh.
so you sent me the Captain America one, I think,
Yes.
which I wasn't as excited about as people probably think I was. Maybe it's because it wasn't a lot going on, but it was nice to see him. Have you seen any? They haven't released a good copy. Have you seen the Thor one?
I've heard of it.
There's a
But I
bootleg
haven't
of it
seen
out there.
it.
There's a steady cam I found on Reddit last night, so I watched it. So you can hear it and see it. So that's pretty cool just to see. But it's Hemsworth being Thor. There's not a lot Same like the Steve Rogers one. It's only a couple clips. It's not showing a lot. Did you see the X-Men one?
Yes, I'm so excited.
Oh my God. I cannot wait to actually see that in high def because I'm sure it's going to be another couple days and they're going to release it. They did that with
Yeah,
Cap too, although they didn't release Thor yet, and that was from a week ago. So I'm not sure what's going on, but man, like that's the excitement they need to generate. My understanding is we're getting next week's Avatar spoiler trailer teaser for Doomsday is a Fantastic Four slash Wakanda trailer, and then there's
okay.
going to be a final trailer. Originally, it was supposed to be a Doom trailer, but it sounds like the
Ooh.
last trailer is going to be on Super Bowl Sunday, and it's an actual trailer for the movie.
I figured it was going to be Super Bowl Sunday.
So they're doing the 4 weeks up to Super Bowl, or I don't know how they're doing it. 4 weeks of different trailer teasers, and then there's going to be a
Yeah,
break till like 2 weeks till the Super Bowl, and then an actual teaser, a trailer of some kind. So, man, that X, I don't want to ruin for anybody who didn't look it up yet because you'll get a good. But man, they finally did Cyclops justice.
they
You know
did.
what sold that? You know what sold that is that sweet ass scene in X-Men '97 last year. Someone, the Russo, somebody at Marvel's like, oh my God, he is a good character, and we shit on him in every X-Men movie.
Yeah.
Let's do this right. He's probably going to be in the movie for 3 minutes too. But if it's any of the 10 seconds they showed him in that trailer, oh man, who needs
Can't wait.
who needs more Wolverine? Well, I do, but we don't need him yet.
Yeah.
This will be just fine. So that was I wanted to bring that up in our beginning thing. I didn't mean to end the show on whoo Doomsday is coming in a year. Wow, a year. Also, we're
Yeah,
real close to a Spider-Man trailer that comes out in July. So,
I'm so excited.
hey, that's going to be it. So I want to say, as we did before, we passed it last week. But Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope everybody enjoyed their holiday, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you're into. Happy holidays, as they say. I know that's offensive to some people, but I respect that other people have other things. And of course, Happy New Year to everybody. We appreciate everybody's support this year. Those who can do, and we do appreciate it. So 2026 is on the horizon, just a couple days away, and we're going to get into it. And go do the things we do. So come see us at a Ghostlight Show, obviously ghostlightradioshow.com. Catch us on Facebook, Ghostlight Radio Show. Nailed It the Podcast is also on Facebook and the things, and the TikTok. You can catch me on TikTok at Pickleshot Bob. That's right, Pickleshot Bob. Also, I have merchandise now. You missed that at my party last weekend. I got shot glasses and a full-on logo. It's the jam.
I love that.
But anyway, that's going to be a thing next year too. We're reaching out with the brand. So even though you love pickles so
Oh
much,
yes.
but we'll find a version of pickles you like, sweet pickles, something. We'll find something you'll drink. But yeah, and always come back, check us out on YouTube as well. Nailed It the Podcast, and support us if you can. Give us likes and stuff. Like and subscribe, as they say, if you're checking us out on the videos or on Spotify or wherever you're checking your podcasts out. We don't have a huge listener base, but we do have people that listen, and we do appreciate it. But that's it for me for this year. Anything from you, sir?
Uh I think that's kind of it. I mean, obviously, same, just like Bob said, follow me on social medias. You can find me at my regular Instagram. That is just myself. It's Jake underscore Shoal 13. Or you can follow me on Instagram at Jack Rocket underscore 3LW for all my ring announcing stuff. And that's Rocket ROCKIT underscore 3LW. You can find me at Three Legacies Wrestling Ascend shows, not the Three Legacies Wrestling regular shows, the Ascend shows. But you can find all the information at 3lwtix.com. That's 3lwtix. I always have to reiterate that. You can find me on TikTok at Rocketman, ROCKITMAN. You can find me on social medias with Facebook, Ghostlight Radio Show, Listexia, Rocketman Art for all my other stuff. If you guys want a cell shading project done, let me know. Shoot me a message. Text me if you have my number. If not, don't text me or don't tell me how you got my number. Um, Other than that, I think that's it for me.
And don't forget, this Friday, January 3rd, Capital City Music Hall, downtown Harrisburg. Come see my Next to Nothing Breaking Benjamin tribute with Y2 Kids doing Lincoln Park and our friend in Stricken doing Disturbed. Tickets are available on Ticketmaster right now. You can find that on our socials. Check out Next to Nothing on Facebook, as well as my other band, Fell From Zero. Appreciate all the love out there from you guys for this year, and hope next year's is as good for you as it was for us. And with that, I think we're out. So Till next time, I'm Bob,
I'm Jake.
and we are
Nailed
Nailed
It
It
the
the podcast.
Podcast.
We'll see you guys later. Happy New Year.
See ya.
Nailed it.